there's something I forgot to mention before I start the finale video. And yes, this is a part of that finale. Welcome to the final part of my second dice trial, unless I end up doing another part of this finale where I show off the secret final boss early. Previously, which took forever long, was the defeat of Darkstar. But the dark haze from that Darkstar went to Peach's castle in a portal that caused Mario, Luigi, and Bowser to go to Peach's castle to see what's going on. And because of that, there they are in Peach's castle in the final chapter. And I promise on this, the Dice Trial follow-up for Super Mario Dimensions, that is the plan, will have cutscenes in it where you'll just read along while I do voice act for those kinds of scenes, because otherwise I just let it be vague instead. So it's gonna be an interesting one. But what I forgot to say is that finally 2 more attacks were unlocked. Mario doesn't get a new attack. Red Star was his final one. But Luigi and Bowser do get attacks. I think one of them was unlocked at the final battle. Luigi doesn't become Mr. L, but instead the thunder comes from within. The Green Thunder, an ultimate move. If you get... It's like roll... Why did I say 1... Oh, 1, 2, 6. Fixate the damage to deal 77 damage. Luigi doesn't become Mr. L, but instead the thunder comes from within. Roll 8 dice. If you get 1 to 6 at least once, fixate the damage to deal 77 damage. Costs 15 FP. And that 77 damage that I'm gonna say to deal 77 damage. Dang it. Let alone, I meant for that to be a comma, let alone it going through defense. Costs 15 FP, but at the cost of using only basic attacks from Luigi from then on, so it is a risky move. Unlocked at the final battle of Chapter 7. Oh, dang it! I thought I was at the final battle. Bowser becomes Dry Bowser, making his basic attacks deal double damage. Flip 3 coins. If you get 1 of 3 heads, roll 3 dice, dealing double damage if the roll is 10 or lower. If you get 2 of 3 heads, roll 6 dice, dealing double damage if the roll is 15 or lower. If you get all heads, roll 10 dice, dealing double damage if the roll is 25 or lower. Or if you get 5 of the same number, reroll once more, but only if you are not satisfied with the low numbers. On easy difficulty, you can reroll twice, but on hard, you only get to reroll if you somehow get 7 of the same number, but for the price of keeping the numbers that have matched. Costs 16 SP, but at the cost of using only basic attacks for 7 turns, plus the form only lasts for 3 turns. Because I forgot that I didn't have a recharge for that. I'm gonna actually make that 8 turns, because then it's like ultimate cooldown. Which would mean that if you got 10 sixes, then it deals 240 damage. The only downside being that it doesn't go through defense. So it would have done at most 120 damage for that part. So, and then as Dry Bowser, his basic attacks double, but for the form lasting for 3 turns only, it's just a risky thing.
So before I go, I'm gonna see what I roll, using the healing token if need be. I don't, it's a safe space. Anyways. 1 again. So like I said in the last part, I'm making these healing spaces be a makeshift shopping space. So for that one, I'm going to, or makeshift free shopping space. So I'm gonna get rid of a golden leaf here and make this be a golden jar. Because for every pink space I land on, which I'm using a healing token anyways. I'm gonna just land on this one, in case I somehow get a 1. Because now I'm gonna do this again. Now let's see if I get any higher than a 1. Nope, I basically get all 1s, other than the healing, that is. So for that one, I am going to actually get this. So I'm gonna put that in here. So that is the play. And now because of that, I feel like I'm gonna get a 2 or more. 3. I had a feeling that was 3. I landed here, but now it's showtime, the final battle, where I think it's gonna take a very long time. It is because this battle is not what it seems. Because of that, I'm gonna look for this guy, and it is Dark Haze. Dark Haze, Dark Bowser.
It is this. Dark Bowser Haze. HP 500, attack 10, defense 3. This is it. The final battle. But why is it hazy, like in incomplete form? It has 2 attacks. Once it reaches hat, the haze form becomes something else. Flip a coin for the attacks. Heads, it deals that much damage, but tails, it deals that much to everyone by using a big boulder. Once it reaches half, something else happens that I'm not going to show yet. So instead of 500 at that point, I'm just going to show 250. So for the first move, I am going to use Cat Dive. 23. And then Luigi, I am going to use his ultimate move, Tanuki Impact. I gotta double check something real quick. Yeah, I didn't. I just wanted to make sure. Because what I thought I made it do, what I thought would happen was I do a coin flip to see if you heal by half or if you don't heal at all, but I didn't do that. That's something that'll happen in the future though. Keep a note. I'm not gonna use Green Thunder for a while. I'm only gonna use that at the very end of the battle, like at the very near end. No triple damage this time, so it's 25. But its defense, I didn't do his defense. I think its defense was 3, so 22. And then for Bowser, I'm going to actually use, I'm not going to use Showtime, but I am going to use an ultimate move. I'm going to roll 3 dice, but they're meant to count for the one specific roll. Counting it even if it was weird. 6 was heads, 2 was heads, 1 was also heads. Good grief, I'm lucky with that. So 12 plus 9, 21. 5 and 6. Heads again. I got heads all of the times. That has never happened. So the resulting damage then is 43, which is 40 damage. Heads. Tails. So that dealt 5 damage to him. Mario, I'm gonna use, this time I am using an ultimate move, Red Star. So 2 6s, 3 3s. I'm gonna go for the 3s. I might regret it. You might not see it, but I'm going for the 3. I regret it heavily. Now I got 3 5s and 3 6s. I'm gonna reset the 1 die and yeah, I'm doing 6s. So now I'm gonna, this is my second attempt. Rolling 4. Got 1. 1 just flew, but it wasn't 6. Nothing. Meow. I'm gonna do this to remove that. So I got 6 times 8 plus 3. 6 times 8, and that's 51, which is the highest I've ever gotten with Red Star. That deals 48 damage. Luigi, I'm using Super Jump. Since it counts as spiky, I'm actually going to do that. I'm going to use Basic Attack Hammer. 10 doubled to 20, but it really does 16 damage. And then Bowser, I'm using Fire Breath. That's not good at all. I need a double 6 for this to work. I got 10 instead. 13, fine, I'm gonna keep it. I got heads. I accidentally flipped it to tails, but it was heads. Heads. So now Luigi got his ultimate back. I am actually gonna use it again. Or no, this is the time for me to use Green Thunder, so that's what I'm gonna do. But for Mario, I'm gonna use nothing and just use a basic attack to support Luigi. 9 does 6 damage. I was really hoping to get that, because to double check with this, I'm pretty sure Green Thunder doesn't have any other exceptions. Yeah, that's all. So it doesn't go through defense step there. It deals whatever would be from here. Remove the 2 to make this a 6. Move the 2 once to make this a 6. So that means it dealt 12 plus 7, 19. It dealt 16 damage. Then Bowser, I'm using Slash. I'm counting this one. Got 12. Tails, so it only does 9 damage. Tails. So I'm finally showing this off. Tails. It doesn't go through defense. So that's the amount of HP they have. For Mario, I'm using this. For Luigi, I'm using the Golden Leaf. For Mario. And then Bowser is dependent. 12. This is awful! You know, I am gonna show you the awfulness of this roll. I literally just got this. Which means it's literally removed this 3 to make this a 6. And then, yeah, 20. It only ended up being 20. That's for Mario. Then for Bowser's turn, I am using his ultimate again. Yet again, not re-rolling. I'm waiting until the final battle happens. 5. 5 again. Heads. Tails. 3. 6. 1. Heads. Tails. Tails. So 31. 28 damage. Heads. Tails. Mario. I'm gonna use Cat Dive. It is exactly enough for it to go on the second phase. Dark Star Core X. HP 666. Attack 8. Defense takes half damage. This core is of a different color, which is just dark and red. It is basically red and black, but has insane aura from it. It seems to have fused power of Fawful and Dark Bowser, turning it into a golem-like monstrosity. It has 3 attacks. 2 heads, it does that much. Heads and tails, it forms a quake that deals that much to everyone. 2 tails, and it heals itself by 50 and deals 15 damage to everyone. Time to save the world. Once defeated, you beat the game. It's time. It's show time. upping the audio volume. I don't know if that's gonna affect me very much, but we'll see. Because I just love this theme too much. It feels fitting for the final battle that is going on here. So, it's Luigi's turn next. I'm using Tanuki Impact. For the golem-like monstrosity, imagine Dark Star Core, but instead of it being hovered up, it's connected, and it has long claws. I'm all in. Ah! Well, I got triple damage anyways. So that is 12, 14, 23 times 3, 69, whatever. 35 damage. What a start. And then Bowser, I stated I used his ultimate move. No. Yeah. I'm gonna state that I did. I don't remember anymore. If I already used it, this is a clause. Because I just don't remember. Call me an idiot. Restart. Oh my word! Tails. Tails again. Well, that's an awful start. Okay. This is not going well at all. It's a reverse luck. Finally. Good grief. Tails. Only did 11 damage. Now let's see what I get. Heads. Tails. So it's heads. And this one is going through defense. I forgot to mention that too. All of these attacks go through defense. So for Mario, I'm using Cat Dive. I got 22. Luigi, I'm using Super Hammer. Nope, Super Jump. 15. Have the recoil damage. And then Bowser, I'm using Fire Breath. The rest is gonna be saved up. Interesting. So it's 25, it dealt 13 damage. Tails. Heads. Thank goodness. Heads. Mario, I'm using Cat Dive again. Then I'm using an ultimate move. Luigi, I'm using a golden jar for himself. Then Bowser, I'm using a basic attack. That's so much better than last time. It's still okay. 20. Tails, gosh darn it. I got Tails. Tails. It heals itself. That sucked. So, it doesn't do all of that damage unless I have tails, which I indeed have a heads, not tails. Still lethal though. Now it's time for the true showing. Mario's using Starman. You see where I'm going with this? And then Luigi, I'm using a golden jar for Mario. I got the triple damage, 78, which equates to 39. Showtime! It's the best I could find. Tails. Heads. Tails. So I'm only rolling 3 dice. Ended up being this, which is 11. Which I said 10 or less was going to make it double. So 13, 7. This is gonna be 7. I hope I don't get 2 tails again. Oh no. Oh come on! I did not think I was gonna get 2 tails twice in a row. I'm gonna just make this be a triple healing at that point. I'm gonna actually add that exception, because otherwise it's gonna take forever. It's not gonna be fun at all. You just have to literally not get 2 tails. With my luck, it's just not very good. Right, I did this. Tails. Mario, I'm not gonna do anything and instead use a golden leaf. Luigi, I'm using Tanuki Impact. Dang it. Only 1. I was hoping for 2, but it didn't work out. So I got 6, 12, 18, 9 damage. And then Bowser, I'm using Slash. Reroll. This is my last reroll token usage. This is way better. I was hoping for heads and it ended up landing on heads. Heads? Thank goodness it's freaking heads finally. Tails. Mario, I'm using Cat Dive. For Luigi, I'm using his... No, I'm not. Not yet using Green Thunder. I'm gonna use Super Jump. And then Bowser, basic attack, Slash. 10. So 17. Plus another 7. So it's just 7. That or I'll use, if I get any doubles, Shell Shock from these 3 dice. Shell Shock. Which dealt 12 damage. Tails. It heals 1 more time. Tails. Mario, I'm using an Ultra Shroom at long last for Luigi. It's about time I finally use a healing item. Wasn't starting very promising, and then this is what I get after. So I got 32. And then Bowser, I'm using Slash. Luigi is using Tanuki Impact. Well, that's not good at all. This is what I wish to use a reroll token on, but I already used up all of them. 6. 16, which deals 8 damage. Only good if I get heads. I got heads, tails, and heads. Tails. Mario, I'm using Red Star. Luigi, I'm using a Max Shroom on Mario. And then Bowser is obviously Slash. I didn't get the triple damage. So I instead got 18. Right? Hold on. No, 24. Dealt 12 damage. Darn it. So it dealt 8 damage. Tails. Heads. This is a risk for Bowser. Risk indeed, because I got tails. So I'm going to do, for Mario's turn, a super hammer. I'm having Bowser heal himself. Luigi, I'm using super jump. 6 damage. 8, 18. Do I take 9 recoil? Nope. Thank goodness. Thank freaking goodness it's heads twice. I've been doing 5 damage to these guys all along. It was meant to be way less. Mario, I'm using Cat Dive. Luigi, I'm using Tanuki Impact. And Bowser, I'm using a Max Shroom on Luigi. Gonna remove the 1 from that. Because that's what I rolled. 1 with that, all of that. 19. Yay! Triple damage. 10, 17, 51, 26. Got tails. Heads. Tails. Mario, I am going to actually use a basic attack. Saving up for the Ultra. So it's 5. Luigi's using Thunder. Actually, no. Never mind that. I'm gonna have Luigi use a golden jar. Use it for Bowser. And then Bowser, I'm using the basic attack. Tails anyway. 5. Heads. Tails. Tails again. Mario, I'm using Red Star. Luigi, I'm using Tanuki Impact. And then Bowser, I'm using Mecha Rise. Well, that's interesting. If only that happened during Tanuki Impact. Well, this is very interesting. I think what I'm going for is 3s. I'm only gonna guess that and just see what happens. Well, no, a single 3 on that one. I'm not gonna change it yet. Attempt 2. Changing it. 6s. Okay. Nothing was good there. Not a single freaking 6. That was the worst one yet. It literally was 36. So it's 18. just triple damage. 6 plus 6 plus 4, 16 times 3, 48, 24. Heads. Heads. I'm just gonna roll these 3. Chronological order. Tails. Oh my word, don't tell me it's gonna be 20. That does not count. It's not 20, but that's still really bad. 26. Heads. Heads again. Tails. Mario, I'm using Golden Leaf. Luigi, I'm using Thunder. And then Bowser, I'm using Fire Breath. That's from the 3 dice, by the way. Just distributing. 16. 31. Seven, the worst roll. Only doing 4 damage. Which that was for the other dice. But it wasn't. 15, 21, 11. This is lasting a long time. I think I was slipping coins. I'm losing it. Luigi, I'm not using. Oh yeah, I am using his Tanuki Impact. Mario would have used the Golden Leaf on Luigi. This time I'm not even gonna show what I got. I got 12 for that one. It is 27. It just gets worse and worse, don't it? And I'd bet that nobody would have fun during this segment because it's so long. That was Tanuki Impact, and it's triple damage. 6, 12. So it's 24 times 3 is 72, so it dealt 36 damage. And then Bowser, I'm using Spiny Roll. Well, that's the worst roll to get. Double 1s. Tails. Heads. It's only 2 coin flips. It only dealt 2 damage. Not even gonna bother with the animation. So now Bowser's able to use his ultimate. And you already know what I'm gonna try to do. Heads. Tails. Let's just keep getting heads and tails over and over and over and over. But this time I got heads. Mario, I'm using Cat Dive. 16, 19. And then Luigi, I'm thinking I'm gonna use Super Jump. 13, so it's 7, safe. And then I'm going to do this. Showtime. So now, let's see how many heads I get this time. Tails, heads, tails. Heads. 2 heads, so I get to roll 6 dice. 9. So I'm supposed to get 15 or lower to do double damage. So 10, 19. So it's 10 damage. Tails. Tails. Tails, oh my word, that's devastating. So now, Mario, I'm gonna use Cat Dive once more. Luigi, I'm going to use Tanuki Impact once more. Basic attack slash. I got 21. 5 freaking 2s! I am not accepting that. I'm gonna reroll these 2 just because of that. I'm sorry to cheat there, but that is just ridiculous. 14, 23. 23 times 3, 69, yada yada. 35. Tails, that's the worst. So it deals literally just that much damage. Heads. Tails. Heads. So then, Mario, I'm going to use an Ultra Shroom on himself. Not gonna show the roll, but I am gonna reveal how much it healed. Oh my word. Seriously? 27. And then Luigi, I'm using Super Jump. Double 6. Where the heck was that for? One of these attacks. Probably Bowser's attack more preferably. 19. Do I take 10 recoil damage? Yeah, no. I keep on forgetting that. I'm safe. That's the best roll I've gotten. And I'm gonna probably do the claws if I don't get hit here. Which I don't. I'm gonna flip the coin 3 times to see if I get heads at all. If I don't, then I'm gonna rage. I didn't get a single heads. That was the best roll for the worst occasion. 16 only damage. That sucks. Tails. Heads. Tails. Mario, I'm using Starman. Luigi, I'm using a golden jar on himself. And then Bowser, I'm using a golden leaf. Doing 6s because that's the most I've gotten. Oh, please tell me I'm finally getting it. Because I have not gotten it at all. Nope. Gosh darn it. I thought I was finally gonna get down to him doing 90 damage, but instead, he's taking these 4 away. He's dealing this much damage. Which is still not bad. Well, it would have been better. 28. No, I gotta... It's this. I'm so tempted. This is the worst. 4, 5, that's 9, 20. Heads. Heads. Heads again, thank goodness. Golden jar. Gonna do... Tanuki Impact. No, I'm not gonna do Tanuki Impact. I'm doing Green Cyclone instead. I'm gonna rage. Oh, come on! Do over. I'm tired of this. 1, 2. Are you freaking kidding me? 3. Heads. I'm accepting 1 heads. I had 5 tails in a row. This was for Bowser's basic attack. So... $12 tails, so it does 6 damage. I'm tired of having tails. This is driving me crazy. Now watch, I'm gonna get 2 tails again. Heads, finally. Tails. Heads. Mario, I'm using Cat Dive. Then I'll see what happens. 18. I'm gonna risk it. I'm using Green Thunder. Well, now I'm cheating. Because I cannot handle this anymore. I keep getting less than... there it is. Who knew I would just resort to cheating at this point? Cheating on my own game. So 77 damage. That literally gets it down to 77. Just a little bit more. Because my luck has completely turned around. And that's what was driving me crazy. I'm about done with this now. It was fun for the first half of it, and then the second half my luck was so awful. it was about time for me to just do things I usually don't do. Heads. 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 Full risk. Not healing. Cat dive. 20. And then Luigi's basic attack. Hammer. Nope. Jump. 8, so it does 4 damage. It's funny because if I had triple 6 and got heads, that would have been it. At long freaking last, that would have been it. Well, let's see what I get here. Tails, figures. I have a feeling this is it afterward. Heads. Heads again. Heads one more time. Where was this in my coin flip central? I had 3 tails last time. Would have so loved to have 3 heads for a change. Good grief, game. Really, it's not even the game. It's more just my luck with coin flips and dice rolls. 10, 15. If I have a double six, that would be it. But instead, I'd get a really bad wall. That's literally just 12. I got 9, so even if I get tails, it's finally over. Heads.
I'm sorry that I resulted in cheating in the end in my own game. Oh man, that took so freaking long. I'm finally done. And because of that, I unlocked Nightmare Mode. And, only by vote, a secret boss battle. Because, man, that finale was actually torture in the end. The fact that the final battle was okay, and then the second phase was utter torture for healing. I had terrible luck with the coin flips. And terrible luck with the dice rolls. I was really wanting the Green Thunder to do insane damage, so that's why I just kept on retrying my rolls. Never using Green Thunder and unless I'm that confident to get 1 through 6, because good grief, I was confident and I still didn't get it. I got everything but a 1, hence why I just kept on rolling until I got the 1. And what's worse for you guys is that this whole final battle, this whole video is not edited, because all that I did was I got the golden leaf, or the golden jars and the golden leaves. If anything, if I didn't land on those spaces, I would have lost all of this. And I had only used 2 healing items that entire time. I had only used 2 healing items. Man, that was so intense, but also it just got boring after like the first, I want to say hour, because yep, I have recorded this for 2 freaking hours, and that's all. And it would have probably been an hour and a half. It was all due to my bad luck in the dice trial of rolling the freaking dice. Yeah, but I'm so glad I finally finished this, so I don't have to worry about this kind of thing again until at least maybe even on streams. And yeah, the entire final segment of chapter 7 and the entire final battle of chapter 8 was recorded in 1 day. So, of course, I'm feeling mighty exhausted from all of that, except for the fact that for the little story of that, chapter 7, final segment, was recorded, only 2 videos were recorded in the morning, in the day, and then the rest was recorded at night. 3 hours was recorded at night. And I'm sweating like crazy because of all of that. I'm sweating like crazy for the fact that I was doing all of that for 2 hours. I thought it was going to take me an hour and a half. For goodness sake, it actually took... I even thought it would take me half as long. But it took me double the time I thought it would. And I'm still glad I made the dice trials. It's just RNG. That's the only thing that I dislike about my own dice games is that it's RNG for how you would be able to how you would be able to get all. Oh, great! It is gonna be edited. If anything, this is edited only for like clipping the screen, and what's worse is, despite how long the video is, it's only the storage is only gonna be used up by like barely even a gig, because these videos have been recorded, and how much storage was used every half hour was only like a third of a gig. Even if I had recorded for like 50 minutes or an hour, it still used up like very little storage. it was crazy. It was sure. I did not want to do the final boss battle another day. Was basically my choice. I wanted to do the final boss battle in one day after that battle against the Dark Star. I wanted to do another one. But for sure, the next dice trials that I do will probably be a little bit better. Especially because the final boss of the third dice trial will be way less torturous as the final boss that happened there. Let alone, the secret final boss is not even that bad. I am actually going to show you the secret final boss, which is, the secret final boss is something that won't make sense, and it is this. Secret final boss, Dry Bowser, HP 500, attack 8, defense takes half damage, which shouldn't be really. It's like 2000 HP, so if anything, that is actually really bad. I don't know how this is gonna go. Like, that's why I want to test out the secret final battle with, and the items that we'll have at that point will be the. For normal difficulty, for the inventory doubler, I'd pretty much have like 6 healing items and 14 FP items. Because literally all of this was, I only used 1 healing item or 2. I think I used 2. And ended up on level 17. Wasn't able to go on level 19. I only used a max shroom and I think 2 ultra shrooms. Then the remainder I use a lot of golden leaves and golden jars. And I had a revival item. And a team revive. Didn't even need them at all ever since Bowser joined the team. But I will say that it is pretty successful if you manage to have good RNG in the final battle. Because the final battle is the only part that I believe not many people would have fun in, because every final battle is meant to be long. That's why I was trying to make it long, but I didn't expect it to take as long as it did. It was also because not a single time, really, it's like not a single time did I get a 5 times damage from the Tanuki impact. And not a single time did I get a 1 to 6 before resulting to just re-rolling until I get a 1. And then not a single time did I, for Mecha Rise, get really good RNG with the heads and tails. It was literally just, I will say it, a devil's fortune, meaning that it was just very bad luck all around. So that's why I just was done with the entire thing, and I'm sorry for those who got really bored watching the whole thing and just skipped all of it.
All of it until the end, which the timestamp for that is just literally going to be like 2 hours and 7 minutes. I'm going to just say skip to the 2 hour and 7 minute timestamp. Like, I'm going to literally timestamp the video by saying 0 would be setting up. 20 minutes, I believe, would be the time for me doing the final battle. And yes, indeed, I'm editing. I'm realizing that there's so much to edit here, even if it's not going to take very long for the cut. But, as well as trying to figure out where because I like repeated all of that, all of those themes. Like that one, I even repeated the one theme at the final battle against Dark Bowser's Haze form. I don't even know about the final battle of that Super Mario Dimensions dice trial I was going to do. Anyways, that's going to be it for this dice trial series. Unless you want to see the secret final boss, I'm pretty much done with this dice trial, and we'll continue doing the LP of Donkey Kong Bonanza, where I'll record at a more comfortable pace, an hour or a little shorter, depending on how much is done in the game. And after Donkey Kong Bonanza will be when I either LP a game or do the third dice trial, which would indeed take even longer than the second one did. Only because of what I chose to do. Let alone, I don't. It probably won't take me as many parts as you would have seen for the third dice trial. But it's just crazy just how long all of that took. I will spoil this: the third dice trial is not gonna have Mario in it. It's pretty much one of the only dice games that I feel even more confident about releasing, because there's only a small bit of, it's a very tiny bit of the game that has Mario stuff or game. It has good references to certain games, like it has a reference to Minecraft, it has a reference to some Mario, some Donkey Kong, but the whole book doesn't have a Minecraft reference. It has a bit of a Minecraft reference, but it's meant to be just its own separate thing. Yeah, I was so exhausted from all of that. I was like, I just want to be done with it so that people won't have to watch 3 hours of this craziness. Might as well say crap, because it was getting boring. So I bet many people are like, how much longer? And that emoji where it's literally like tired face, or the I'm over it face. And I felt the same at that point. I just wanted to be done with it and just finally beat the freaking dice trial. Despite the fact that if I'm able to, I'll still be able to release it. Just that I'd say in the warning of the rule sheet, prepare for a very long final battle, because the final battle was indeed so long that I might have to warn people about how long it would take them, so that they would just have to pause in between if they want to do that, go at it. Probably pause in between to. That's why I say that this game is not meant for. Yeah, it's not meant for kids, because kids would probably have their brains fried at the boss battle itself, at any of the boss battles. I meant because I was meant to have this be enjoyed by teens up, those with those with the brain of math, or if they can't handle that, having a calculator. But even still, all of it was meant for those who love math, and all of those who loves RPG games, tactical stuffs. But lesson granted, I definitely will lessen the HPs from here on out for the final battles, because I'll only make the HP that great when it's secret final battles, or it's just secret modes. Take it from the fact that certain games at this point, like, none of the games have final bosses that take so freaking long to battle. Like me, having taken even an hour long on my previous third dice trial to defeat the final boss. Not alone having to try to figure out what attacks to have. I do remember what level was the maximum still. It was 20 chapters. That's another thing. So the maximum chapter, I think, was 30. I'm gonna even spoil just... No, I'm not. I already spoiled the fourth dice trial. The fourth dice trial is gonna be a Super Mario Dimensions dice trial. But that's all I'm gonna say. Let alone I'm gonna make side games that are referenced from the fourth dice trial. But the second dice trial is first time for a secret final boss, where the third dice trial doesn't even have one. And that's the thing. The second dice trial wasn't even meant to have one. It was meant to just be a final battle and that's it. Let alone, if I remember, the final boss was meant to have only 100 HP. And that was because back then, I made it so that every level up you have, your basic attack goes up by 1 die. Every 5 levels, it was going to be like 1 die increased until maximum level where you get up to 5 dice. And the final battle would have then been so easy. There was no defense, it was just HP and attack and no secondary attack. Back then, I think I was 16 years old. Yeah. It was like a decade ago from when I started the second dice trial, but I failed to continue it because I lost the notes and the board, so I wasn't able to do all of the stuff again. If I found them again, though, which I don't know if I will ever be able to find them, then I would revisit it to see how simple it would have been. And that would just be a goofy upload if I have lost the inspiration to do any LPs. Definitely taking a break from recording for one day on my part, but the next time I record will be on Donkey Kong Bonanza, and that would be from parts 3 onward. Except for I figured out what I'm going to do on the day of the direct, which is I'm going to upload the reaction to the Summer Game Fest as well. That was all already said and done. It's just as soon as I figure out when the direct is, I'm going to also upload the reactions and thoughts about the Summer Game Fest. Other than that, for one, I hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't, if you didn't, then don't be afraid to dislike the video at that point, because it would hurt, but at the same time I would understand why you disliked it, is because it took way too long.